This call is now being recorded.
Okay, so once again, good morning. So in the last lecture, we have started the problems based on the principal stresses and the strain. In that, we have started the problems based on the case number 1, in which your member or body, when it is subjected to the axial stress or when it is subjected to the uniaxial stress. And based on that, we have solved the two problems in the previous lectures. Now, one more problem we will solve based on the this case number 1, and then we'll move to the another types. So this is the problem number 3 in front of you. So you just read the statement carefully, understand which parameters are given and which parameters we have to calculate. Okay, let us see. I will read the statement. A bar of cross section 100 mm by 75 mm. A bar of cross section 100 mm by 75 mm subjected to tensile pull, that is P, shown in the figure. A bar of section 100 mm by 75 mm is subjected to the tensile pull shown in the figure. Full stop. The permissible normal and shear stress on oblique plane. The normal and shear stress. This shear stress is also called as a tangential stress. And this normal and this particular shear stress on the oblique plane. So whatever the inclined plane is given, on that particular inclined plane, AB are 10 Newton per mm square and 5 Newton per mm square respectively. Full stop. Determine load P or safe load P. So what is the difference between this problem and the previous two problems? In the previous two problems, sigma x, sigma y is not there. Only sigma x will be given, or sometimes the force will be given. By using that, we have calculated normal stresses and the shear stresses. But here in this particular statement, normal stress and the shear stress on oblique plane, it is given, and we have to calculate the safe load. So the figure for this particular statement or for this particular problem, it is given. So I will draw this particular figure. So it is subjected to the load P, which we have to calculate. This is the theta. Angle is given with horizontal plane, sigma n and sigma t. So this is A and B. So this is the given figure. Okay. So if I will write down all the given parameters, so sigma n is equal to 10 Newton per mm square. Then sigma t, which is called as a tangential stress, or also it is called as a shear stress, it is equal to 5 Newton per mm square. Then theta is equal to 60 degree. Theta is given as a 60 degree with minor principal plane. This is minor principal plane. Whatever the horizontal plane is there, this is minor principal plane. Okay, this is minor principal plane. And P, we have to calculate. In addition to that, the value of B is given 100 mm. The value of D is given 75 mm. Okay, so this is the statement. Which parameter we have to calculate? We have to calculate the force or the load applied on that particular member or the body, or it is called as a safe load. Safe load we have to calculate. So here, if you look at to the figure, the 60 degree angle is given with the horizontal plane. That is, whatever the horizontal planes are there at the top side and the bottom side, this 60 degree angle is given with the horizontal plane. But what is our requirement? in the normal stress formula and in the shear stress formula, whatever theta I have to take or whatever theta we have to take, that we have to take with the vertical plane only. But here the angle is given with the horizontal plane. So what we have to do, by using this particular 60-degree angle and by using this particular 90-degree, because this ABC, if you look at to the figure, this ABC, this is the right angle triangle. Okay, in that right angle triangle, the two angles are given. One is 90-degree, another is 60-degree. So if I have to calculate this particular theta angle by using this particular 90-degree and 60-degree angle, therefore theta with vertical plane, theta with vertical plane. So what will be the theta value? Yes, what will be your theta value with vertical plane? Yes, 30 degree. Okay, 90 minus 60 is equal to 30 degree. Okay, now as per our sign conventions, the four diagrams I have given for the theta calculation, whether we have to take this theta as a positive or whether we have to take that theta as a negative. Now according to this, theta is present at the right side and the top corner. Whether this theta is positive or negative, please check the four figures. Check that particular four figures.
Negative,
Yes, negative. Theta is negative. Therefore, mine is 30 degree. In front of that, you have to write down by sign conventions. By sign conventions of theta. Okay, so like that, in the previous two problems, already theta angle is given with the vertical plane, so we can take that theta value as it is. But here, the 60-degree angle is given, but it is given with the horizontal plane or minor principal plane. But by using the 60-degree and 90-degree, I have converted with vertical plane or major principal plane. So this minus 30, now we have to take for your further calculation. Okay, now here I have to calculate the safe load. So I am having the two formulas. You can see sigma n is equal to sigma x into cos square theta. Okay, and another shear stress sigma t is equal to sigma x divided by 2 into sine 2 theta. Sigma n is given, sigma t is also given. By using this particular sigma 1, I can calculate sigma x because theta is given. Similarly, by using the sigma t, again theta is given, again I will calculate the sigma x. That means by using the sigma n formula, by using the sigma t formula, I will get the sigma x value. And we are having the formula sigma x is equal to px upon ax. Okay, ax is given 100 mm by 75 mm. But to calculate that particular px, first of all, I have to calculate the sigma x value. And that sigma x I can calculate by using the sigma n also and by using the sigma t also. So I have to calculate sigma x by using the sigma n formula, sigma t by using the formula. Again, by using the sigma x, I will calculate the px. At the right side, by using the sigma x, again I will calculate the px. So you will get the two force values by using sigma n, by using sigma t, and after that, from that particular two values, we have to select the safe value of the load. So I will start with the sigma n. So sigma n is given 100 sigma x into cos square theta. The theta is given as a 30. So in bracket, I will write down 30. So 10 is equal to sigma x. So cos square in bracket minus 30. So in if you will do the calculation like that, there may be possibility of syntax error in your calculator. So what do you do? Cos in bracket minus 30 bracket complete, one more bracket, bracket square. So whatever the total term is there, cos 30, you have to take the square of the total term in your calculator, then you will get the correct answer. Then tell me the value of sigma x. Yes, what is the value of sigma x? Yes, 0.75. Cos minus 30 and total square 0.75. Yes. Then what is the value of sigma? Sigma x 10 divided by 0.75. What will be your answer? Yes, 13.33. 13.33, correct. Now I hope everyone has understood the calculation of cos square theta. What you do? You have to take this cos minus 30 inside the bracket and take the square of the whole bracket. Then you will get the correct answer. Okay. Now the sigma x we have calculated. We have another formula. Which one? Stress is equal to force upon area. So sigma x is equal to px upon ax. So sigma x 13.33 px. So here ax is equal to b into d. So 100 into 75. You will get px is equal to. So what will be the force px by using the normal stress? Do the calculations and tell me the value of force value in the x direction. Yes, what is the force value?
99.97 into 10 raised to 3.
Yes, 99.97 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Okay, approximately, I will write approximately it is equal to 100 into 10 raised to 3 Newton. Approximately, I will write 100 into 10 raised to 3 Newton or 100 kilonewton. 100 kilonewton because 99.97 is there, therefore I have converted in the form of 100 into 10. You can keep as it is, no problem. 99.97 it is also accepted. 100 kilonewton, this approximate value, it is also accepted. So this px value you will get from the normal stress formula. Now we are having the sigma t formula. By using the second condition also we have to calculate the force. So sigma t is given 5 Newton per mm square. Sigma x we have to calculate. So sigma x divided by 2 into sine 2 into minus 30. Therefore 5 sigma x divided by 2 into sine minus 60. So sigma x is equal to 5 into 2 divided by sine minus 60. Yes, tell me the value of sigma x by using the tangential stress formula or the shear stress formula. Sigma x value by using the tangential stress or the shear stress formula. Here you have to take the theta value as a negative. Therefore minus 30 I have taken. So 2 into minus 30 you will get the minus 60. Therefore sine minus 60. What will be your answer? Sigma x value?
Minus 11.54.
Minus 11.54 Newton per mm square. Yes, others please check your answers. Minus 11.54 Newton per mm square. Yes, minus 11.54 Newton per mm square. Here you will get the answer negative. Why? Because theta value, as per the sign conventions, theta value we have taken negative. Therefore, you will get the answer sigma x in the negative form. Now, again, we are having the same formula. Sigma x is equal to px upon ax. So sigma x minus 11.54 is equal to px. We have to calculate in ax again 75 into 100 or 100 into 75. So px value by using the shear stress formula. If your stress is negative, therefore you will get that particular force value. It is also in the negative. Yes, minus 86 point. Yes, minus 86.86.
55.
55 into 10 raised to 3 Newton, or I can write minus 86.55 kilonewtons. So why this negative sign is came? Because the theta value we have taken negative. Due to the theta only, you got the answer negative. But in actual case, if you read the statement carefully, your member or body is subjected to the tensile pull. Tensile means whatever the force is applied, 100% it is tensile. But by using the normal stress formula, you got the answer 99.97 into 10 raised to 3. This is positive. In the second case, you got the negative answer because as per the sign conventions, we have taken this particular theta as a negative. Means due to the theta angle is negative as per the sign convention. That's why you got the answer as a minus 86.55 kilonewton. But in the actual statement, whatever the load is applied, this load is a tensile. But here, whatever the px you will get is a negative. Neglect that particular negative sign, and finally you have to write down the px answer as a 86.55 kilonewton by neglecting negative sign. Okay, here due to the theta value as a negative, that's why you got the answer. But this theta value will not affect on the tensile loading condition. Even theta is present at the top side, bottom side, left side, right side. It will not be affects on the sign of that particular force applied. Therefore, here that whatever the answer you will get in the negative manner, the negative sign we have to neglect it. Now we are having the two answers. One is 99.97 into 10 raised to 3 or 100 kilonewton, and we are having the another answer 86.55. Out of that, what will be your safe load? Which will be your safe load, whether 100 kilonewton or whether 86.55 kilonewton is your safe load? Yes, which will be your safe load? Minimum value of load is the safe or maximum value of the load is safe? Yes, what will be your safe value of the load? Minimum value or maximum value?
Minimum.
Maximum.
Minimum or maximum?
Maximum.
Maximum. How? How? Can anybody? How the maximum value will be your safe load? Yes. Please keep in mind, safe load is equal to minimum value of load is equal to 86.55 kilonewton. Safe stress is always your maximum value. Please keep in mind. Safe stress is always your maximum value. Sometimes maybe in the chapter number 1 we have calculated the safe stress value. That means it represents the maximum limit of that particular material. But here you got the two forces. One is the 100 kilonewton, another is the 86.55 kilonewton, and the safe value will be your minimum value of load, because when this 86.55 kilonewton load is applied to that particular load, the deformation of the body or the breakage of the body will not be taking place. But if 100 kilonewton force will be applied, then this particular rectangular section or this particular member, it will get break. Therefore, the safe value of the load will be considered as a minimum value of the load. So please keep in mind, the safe load is equal to minimum value of load. Therefore, it has been finalized that after comparison of 100 kilonewton and 86.55 kilonewton, the safe value of the load is equal to 86.55 kilonewton, because this is minimum as compared to 99.97 kilonewton or the 100 kilonewton. Why? Because if I will apply 86.55 kilonewton, the body is totally safe. Deformation is taking place, but the breaking of body will not be taking place. But if your load is increases from 86.55 kilonewton up to the 99.97, at 99.97 the body will get break. Therefore, that 99.97 load will not be considered as a safe load. Therefore, I have taken minimum value of the load is equal to 86.55 kilonewton. So write down this particular important sentence. Safe load is equal to minimum value of load is equal to 86.55 kilonewton. Okay, so this is about the problem number 3 based on the case number 1 where the member or body is subjected to the uniaxial condition. So what is the difference between this problem and the previous two problems? In the previous two problems, the sigma x value is given, and by using sigma x, I have calculated sigma n and sigma t. Here, the statement is totally opposite. Sigma n is given, sigma t is given, and we have to calculate sigma x. And by using that particular sigma x, I have to calculate the safe load applied on that particular body. And here we have calculated safe load as a 86.55 kilonewton. Okay, so these are the problems based on the case number 1 where the member or body is subjected to the uniaxial force or uniaxial stress. Means the force or stress is applied in x direction only. Okay, so this is the case number 1. Now we'll take the case number 2. If you read the statement, that is member or body subjected to the biaxial stresses. Biaxial means if the force or the stress is applied in the two axes. If the force or the stress, if it is applied on the body in the two directions or in the two axes, that condition is called as a biaxial forces or biaxial stresses. So for this particular condition, I have given the figure. You can see again the same rectangle is there, that is A, B, C, D. Okay, and this particular member or body is subjected to the stresses in the two directions. You can see the sigma x is applied in the x direction or in the horizontal direction, and the sigma y is also applied in the vertical direction, which is called as a y direction. Therefore, it means we can say that one stress is applied in the x direction, another stress is applied in the y direction. Therefore, this particular condition is called as a member or body subjected to the biaxial stresses, where the stress is applied in horizontal direction, that is x, and one more stress is applied in the y direction, that is in the vertical direction. Again here, one inclined plane is there, which is called as the oblique plane. That oblique plane has made angle theta with the vertical plane BC. At the right side, again, same figure is represented in the form of triangular manner. That is, the sigma x is applied here in the horizontal direction, sigma y is applied in the vertical direction, and on the normal plane, on the oblique plane or on the inclined plane, again sigma n is there, which is perpendicular. Again sigma t is there, which is parallel, and in between sigma n and sigma t, one more force is there, one more stress is there, which is called as a sigma r, that is resultant stress. The resultant of normal stress and tangential stress is called as a resultant stress. Therefore, sigma r is always present in between normal stress and the tangential stress. So what is the difference between the case number 1 and the case number 2? In the case number 1, body is subjected to only single stress in horizontal direction. In case number 2, the body is subjected to the stress or force in horizontal direction as well as in the vertical direction. Therefore, whatever the formulas we have seen in the case number 1, all the formulas are available in the form of sigma x only. The effect of sigma y is not there in the case number 1. But in case number 2, the value of sigma x is also given, value of sigma y is also given. Therefore, whenever I am calculating normal stress and tangential stress, the sigma x value and sigma y value also we have to consider during the calculation. Means you will get the formula of sigma n and sigma t in the form of sigma x and the sigma y. So please take this particular case number 2 in your notebook. Member or body subjected to the biaxial stresses. Draw this particular figure. Draw this particular rectangle, member or body. Give the name ABCD. Represent one stress in horizontal direction as a sigma x. Represent another stress in the vertical direction as a sigma y. And from the figure also we can easily say that this body or member subjected to the biaxial stresses. Biaxial means the stress is applied in the two directions, that is x and y. So take this particular figure, their heading in your notebook, represent the value of or position of sigma n, sigma t and resultant stress on oblique plane. Sigma n is always perpendicular, sigma t is always parallel, and sigma r is present in between normal and the tangential stress. And tangential, it is also called as a shear stress. So take this particular figure in your notebook, and these are the formulas. So important formulae. So take this particular list of the formulas in your notebook. There is a change in formula number 1 and formula number 2. The formula for the resultant stress, formula for the maximum shear stress, and formula for the angle of obliquity. It is same for all the three cases. Sigma r formula, tau max formula, and the phi formula. It is same for all the three cases. Only difference is there in the normal stress and the tangential stress. So take the formula number 1 as a normal stress. You can see here normal stress formula. It is available in the form of sigma x and sigma y. But in case number 1, sigma y is not there in sigma n formula and sigma t formula. Only sigma x was there. But here, as the body is subjected to biaxial stresses, so effect of sigma x, effect of sigma y also we have to consider. So what is the sigma n formula? You can see sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 into cos 2 theta. Into cos 2 theta. This is the normal stress formula. Then shear stress and tangential stress indicated by sigma t. Formula is equal to sigma x minus sigma y into sine 2 theta. Again here we have to use the same sign conventions for the theta, whether that theta is made with the vertical plane or not. If it is made with vertical plane, you can take as it is. But once again you have to check the sign conventions, whether given theta is positive or negative. So take this particular all the formulas in your notebook. Sigma n, sigma t, sigma r, tau max, and phi. It will be same for all the three cases. List down all the formulas in your notebook for your further calculations. Okay, so yes. Okay, I hope everyone has taken this all the list in your notebook for your further calculation, and based on this, now we'll solve the first problem based on the biaxial condition or biaxial stresses condition. Okay, so now read the statement carefully and identify that through this particular statement also we can easily say that whether that statement or that problem is there based on the case number 1 or case number 2. So the problem number 1, the principal stresses at a point in section of member are 100 Newton per mm square and 50 Newton per mm square. Principal stresses, name is given. Principal stresses at a point in a section of member are 100 Newton per mm square and 50 Newton per mm square. Both are tensile. Okay, means sigma x value is given and sigma y value is given, and I have told if they have not mentioned which will be the sigma x and which will be the sigma y, take the maximum value always as a sigma x and minimum value as always sigma y. If in statement they have mentioned this will be the sigma x value and this will be the sigma y value, sometimes the sigma y will be more as compared to the sigma x value, but maximum times the 90 to 95% problems are there in which the sigma x is always greater than sigma y. So both stresses are tensile. Find normal, tangential, and resultant stress across the plane passing through that point inclined at 60 degree. Calculate the normal stress, tangential stress, and resultant stress on plane which is inclined at 60 degree, having 100 Newton per mm square stress. What we have to calculate? Normal stress, tangential stress, and resultant stress on inclined plane at 60 degree. Inclined plane at 60 degree, having 100 Newton per mm square. म्हणजे इन्क्लाइंड प्लेन मधला आणि 100 न्यूटन पर एम एम स्क्वेअर ज्या प्लेनवर ऍक्ट झालेला आहे त्या प्लेन मधला अँगल म्हणजे काय दिलाय त्यांनी 60 डिग्री दिलाय. ओके, सो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल बाय युजिंग दिस पर्टिक्युलर स्टेटमेंट, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल यू हॅव टू ड्रॉ द फिगर. ओके, सो हियर I will draw, let us see the member or body subjected to the biaxial, both are tensile. So given parameters, it is not mentioned which will be the sigma x. Always consider maximum value. Sigma x is equal to 100 Newton per mm square. Sigma y is equal to 50 Newton per mm square. Theta is equal to 60 degree, and we have to calculate sigma n, sigma t, and so sigma n is we have to calculate, sigma t we have to calculate, and sigma r also we have to calculate. So I think due to the electricity, maybe my screen will not be visible. So you just try to solve. So the value of sigma x is given, value of sigma y is given, and they have mentioned one statement: find out the normal, tangential, and the resultant stress across a plane passing through that point inclined at 60 degree, having 100 Newton per mm square stress. Please tell me, 100 Newton per mm square stress is there on inclined plane or horizontal plane? Sorry, 100 Newton per mm square stress is there on vertical plane or horizontal plane?
Vertical plane.
Yes, vertical plane is there. And what statement they have mentioned? The 60 degree angle is made with 100 Newton per mm square stress. Means it is made with the horizontal plane or vertical plane. Once again, 60 degree angle is made with horizontal plane or vertical plane?
Vertical.
Vertical plane. That means whether we have to take that theta as it is or we have to change it.
As it is.
As it is, because angle between inclined plane and plane of 100 Newton per mm square, and 100 Newton per mm square stress is applied, that is sigma x, it is applied on the vertical plane only. Means the angle between vertical plane, or it is called as a major principal plane, and with inclined plane it is equal to 60 degree. So you can represent that particular theta at any side. Here they have not mentioned whether you have to represent that particular theta at the right side or at the left side or at the bottom side or at the top side. It is not mentioned. So you can take it as at the left side, at the top side. You can take the theta as it is at the left side. Any position you can represent. At any position you can represent, but maximum times if it is not mentioned, so you have to take this at the left side top corner. means you will get that particular theta as a positive. You will get that particular theta as a positive theta. So theta is equal to 60 degree by the sign conventions. So now the sigma x will be given, sigma y is given, theta, positive theta is given by the sign conventions. We can use the formula of normal stress, tangential stress, and the resultant stress. So write down given parameters to draw the figure. In the figure, represent sigma x, then represent sigma y, represent inclined plane, angle between inclined plane and vertical plane 60 degree, that is positive. And then use the normal stress formula and the tangential stress formula for your further calculation and tell me the answer. So normal stress formula you are having sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 into cos 2 theta. Cos 2 theta is there. Please keep in mind. Cos 2 into 60, correct. 62.5 Newton per mm square. 50 Newton per mm square. This is wrong. Please do the calculations once again. Cos 2 theta is there. So don't forget to take that particular 2. This is the constant parameter. Cos 2 theta means 2 into 60 means cos 160. 62.5 Newton per mm square. This is the correct value of the normal stress. Those who got the answer 50 Newton per mm square, please check your calculation once again. Cos 2 theta is multiplied only for sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2. This is not multiplied for the total terms. Sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 into cos 2 theta. Only that multiplication you have to take, and then you have to add with the previous term sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2. Please check your answer once again. Those who got the answer 50 Newton per mm square. Don't forget to take that particular 2 as a constant. The formula for the case number 1 and formula for the case number 2, it is totally different. 21.65. How 21.65? Yes, you are telling the sigma t. Yes, it is correct. Sigma t, it is correct. 21.65. That is a tangential stress, or it is also called as a shear stress. Just wait, within 1 minute I will share the screen. After the normal stress, find out the tangential stress. It is equal to 21.65. Simple formula you are having sigma x minus sigma y into sine 2 theta. Yes, 21.65 Newton per mm square. Once you calculated sigma n and sigma t, then calculate the resultant stress. The resultant of normal and tangential stress is called as the resultant stress. So you are having the formula sigma r is equal to square root of sigma n square plus sigma t square. Square root of sigma n square plus sigma t square. And then find out the value of sigma r, that is resultant stress. Yes, 66.14 Newton per mm square, correct. 66.14 Newton per mm square. Newton per mm square. This is the correct answer. Is my screen is visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so those who are unable to solve, let us see. So given sigma x is equal to 100 Newton per mm square, sigma y is equal to 50 Newton per mm square, theta is equal to 60 degree with plane of 100 Newton per mm square. Okay, and we have to calculate sigma n, sigma t, and sigma r. So by using the sigma x and sigma y, we can easily say that this is the biaxial condition. So 100 Newton per mm square as a sigma x. Similarly at the right side, 100 Newton per mm square. Then in the vertical direction, sigma y, 50 Newton per mm square. At the bottom side, 50 Newton per mm square. Inclined plane, I will draw here. This is your sigma n, this is your sigma t, and in between this sigma r is there. So theta, here it is mentioned, this is the oblique plane, and angle between oblique plane and plane of 100 Newton per mm square. Already 100 Newton per mm square is applied on the vertical plane. Therefore, I have to take this angle as a 60 degree. Okay, so now all the parameters are available. So one by one you can calculate. That is, first, sigma n is equal to sigma x plus sigma y divided by 2 plus sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 into cos 2 theta. So sigma x 100 plus 50 divided by 2 plus 100 minus 50 divided by 2 into cos 2 into 60. So this particular multiplication is available for sigma x minus sigma y only. Okay. Then sigma n, whatever you have calculated, 62.5 Newton per mm square. So those who have not calculated, please follow this particular steps, then you will get the correct answer. Okay, sigma n. Then sigma t. Again, we are having the separate formula in the form of sigma x and sigma y. So sigma x minus sigma y divided by 2 into sine 2 theta. Okay, so sigma t is equal to sigma x, again 100 minus 50 divided by 2 into sine 2 into 60. So you will get sigma t. I hope everyone has calculated 21.65 Newton per mm square. Okay, this is the tangential stress, which is also called as a shear stress. Therefore, sometimes in the statement, sometimes they have asked find out the tangential stress. We have to use the same formula. Sometimes they have asked find out the shear stress. They again also you have to use the same sigma t formula, because tangential is also called as a shear stress. And then third parameters we have to calculate as the resultant stress. So we are having the common formula for all the cases. Resultant stress is equal to, in bracket, sigma n square plus sigma t square. So in the square root, sigma n 62.5 bracket square, sigma t 21.65 bracket square, and from that, first of all you have to take the square. Here also you have to take the square, you have to do the addition, and then you have to take the square root. So I hope you got the answer, 66.14 Newton per mm square. So this is the normal stress, tangential stress, and resultant stress induced on the inclined plane due to sigma x and the sigma y. So this is the first problem based on the case number 2, where the member or body, it is subjected to the biaxial stresses, where sigma x and sigma y both are applied on horizontal plane and vertical plane respectively. So this is the First problem, very simple and straightforward problems are there. Only we have to identify that whether given numerical is there based on the case number 1, 2, or 3. How to identify the case number 1? Only single force will be given, or sometimes only single stress will be given. Then this is the uniaxial. In the statement, if the two stresses are given, it may be tensile, it may be compressive, means we can say that the problem is based on the case number 2, where it is subjected to the biaxial stresses, that is sigma x and the sigma y. Okay, so this is the problem number 1. So with this first problem only, today we will stop here. Today you are having only one lecture based on the mock. In the next lecture, we will take some another variety of the problems.